This episode is sponsored by Built by Plant Supplements, the elite plant-based nutrition supplement company. Provides you with support for all of your goals, whether that's building muscle, losing fats, improving your performance in the gym, and getting some great night rest. All right. So if you're tired of people asking you constantly, where do you get your protein? Tell them bbpsubs.com. Come over and grab you some vegan protein powder, chocolate frosty flavor. 110 calories per serving with 22 grams of protein. And if you don't like chocolate, we got a vanilla ice cream as well. Get your pre-workout powder so you can be a beast in the gym, and the creatine to support that muscle growth, all right? And if you really need some great night rest, go ahead and grab you some nightcaps. Good melatonin, gonna help you be knocked out, not waking up in the middle of the night, none of that bad stuff, all right? So bbpsubs.com, use the checkout code BBP10 and save 10% off your whole order. On top of that, free shipping over any order over $75. bbpsubs.com. Let's get back to the episode. What's up, family? What is going on? It's been a minute since the last time we were live, but we back. So I got some stuff that I want to roll through, go over with you all. I want to go over some foods that y'all may not have known are quote unquote vegan, or should I say accidentally vegan, right? And the term accidentally vegan basically just means that it's vegan by default, but not on purpose. When they were designing the product or the food or whatever, they didn't purposely make it vegan, but it's just a coincidence that they didn't use any animal products, right? So, when I'm working with clients and such, and we're on our video calls, Zoom calls, especially when it's new vegans or people that's transitioning back, things like that, they want to know certain things they can eat and things like that. So I figure this would be a good conversation to pull up an article by Veg News to go through and see some of the stuff that's inside the grocery store, about 18 items or so. You may use some of them. Maybe you'll be able to gather some insight from some of these food options in the grocery store, right? So now this isn't going to be anything that you're eating consistently, right? Or anything that should be like a staple in your diet necessarily, but just some fun things that you may come across that you may not have known was vegan. All right, so let's hop into that. I'm going to come over here and share my screen. All right, and here we go. So like I mentioned, we're on Veg News. I'm scroll down so we can read through the article. All right, so 18 accidentally vegan products on your next trip to the grocery store. So, like I just mentioned, this just breaks down what accidentally vegan means. Basically, just refers to any food that's vegan, vegan, but it's not by design, right? It's just free of animal products because they didn't choose to use any animal products. So, I skimmed through this already. So, number one is going to be baking mixes, all right? So, basically, as you see up there, little cake baking mixes and brownie baking mixes, things like that. Usually these are pretty much vegan. Now, the thing is, regardless of what is shown right here, you always want to make sure that you're double checking. You're always looking at the back and reading through the ingredients list, because although it may not say that it has eggs, or it may say, doesn't contain milk, sometimes they'll make these foods. Let me move this thing off my face. They'll make these foods. Get this out the way. Actually, give me 1 second. Let me hide this out the way. Okay, cool. They'll make these foods with milk ingredients, right? And it'll be called something different. It may say casein or milk powder and things like that. So you still want to always check, but usually baking mixes, they don't really have animal products in there, right? Number two is frosting. So the little frosting, like this right there to the corner, the little frosting that's on the cakes and brownies and things like that. So that's pretty cool. Like I said, these aren't staples. Now, number three, cereal. Now, a lot of cereals are actually vegan, quote unquote, right? Now, when I say vegan, I'm not referring to meaning that they're 100% healthy or they're the best choice you should have in the morning. When I say vegan, I just mean that they don't have animal products in there. Now, let's see what this says up here. While honey and yogurt flavored varieties are out, so long, Honey Nut Cheerios, Most dry cereals do not contain vitamin D3. What? Most dry cereals that do not contain vitamin D3 are vegan. Okay. Vitamin D3 can be derived from sheep lano, lanolin. That's actually pretty gross. So Captain Crunch, Cashew, Barbers, Puffin cereals. So a lot of the popular cereals are out there that are pretty much vegan as well. So y'all can go through. And the purpose of this is also, like I said, if you're just transitioning or you're thinking about going vegan, right? You haven't started transitioning yet, and you just want to see what are some of those easy switches you can make. Let me go back to the main screen for a second. What are some of those easy switches that you can make that won't cause you to feel like you're giving up things, right? You can look at some of these items, you can use some of these things, and technically, you're probably already using a lot of these anyways, right? So you can just use more of them, or just make sure that you're picking the right ones that are vegan by default, and that can be a beneficial way to get used to eating vegan, right? And again, it's not samples. These are not staples. These are just more so things that just happen to be vegan that you probably don't even know. Because I think a lot of people have this connotation that vegan means, oh, it may not be good or you may not like it and things like that. But a lot of these things are already vegan, so you're probably eating a lot of them. So just to bring that awareness. All right, number 4, Pillsbury croissant rolls, which is actually pretty shocking. I didn't even realize that. That's actually pretty cool. Um, So we're just gonna skip down pancake mix, which is also pretty simple. Now you can really make your own pancake mix. Honestly, there's literally no reason to buy pancake mix. It's pretty much a waste of money, honestly, unless you're just trying to have a quick alternative to go to for making pancakes. On the go. But even still, you can mix up your own stuff. What I do for pancakes, I keep it really simple. Let me get back onto this main screen. For pancakes, I just add, flour, usually oat flour, some almond milk, some protein powder, because I always look for ways when I'm eating my food. I'm always thinking, how can I add more protein to this, right? I never just eat oatmeal by itself. I always add in protein powder, have some protes, is what we call it. I always add in protein powder to my shakes. Same thing for pancakes or waffles or anything like that. Because there's no reason to eat those foods by themselves without protein. Otherwise, it's just like, what's the point, right? For those specific type of foods. So you can make your own protein powder, or should I say, not protein powder. You can make your own pancake mix, right? Just add your oat flour, protein powder, almond milk, and then you're pretty much good. You can add whatever else you want to add to it. So that's pretty much what I would roll with. But these are just, like I mentioned, just some of the things that are vegan by default. Now, number 6, cookies. Now, as I say right here, it's pretty much common knowledge that Oreos are vegan, right? I think that was one of the shockers for me when I first transitioned to a plant-based diet. Um, I think I read it somewhere where it said Oreos are vegan, and I wasn't even into Oreos before going vegan. Honestly, they really wasn't my thing. But once I went vegan, I realized that they were technically vegan as well. I went crazy with them. So I don't do that. All right, don't do that because this is a hard habit to shake. But there are a lot of other things that you're probably eating right now, or cookies that you may used to eat that are vegan as well. So they got the Newmans, which is a Target private label brand. They got Back to Nature. Now Nutter Buggers, Nutter Butters are vegan as well. That was something I found out later on. And then Nabisco Original Grams. So those are some things to play around with. I know a lot of people like to have little cookies and snacks and things like that, even like for your kids and things, which maybe as a treat, but it shouldn't be like a staple, like I mentioned. Now, unfrosted Pop Tarts. These are vegan as well, so which is pretty interesting because I wouldn't have thought that they were, right. That wouldn't have been something I would have thought. So the unfrosted strawberry and blueberry flavors are gelatin. Oh, interesting. Oh no, they're gelatin, egg, and dairy free. Okay, I got it. So that's pretty cool. Crustables number 8 are also vegan. So these are things, like I mentioned, that are cool if let's just say you're traveling or you're at a hotel or something like that, and I guess you don't have access to be able to make your own food, or you just want something quick, I guess it's cool to have every once in a while. I've actually never had this. I think I might have had something like this in grade school or something, but for lunch. But I've never eaten these. But these are some of the things that I think people don't realize are vegan. Cookie butter. I don't even know what cookie butter is, honestly. Unless they're talking about like, let me see. Yes, it's blended. Yeah, I have no idea what that is. I guess it's a spread or whatever. Number 10, frosted waffles, or frozen waffles, should I say. Now, these are actually pretty cool because I will every once in a while. I mean, it's been, at least a year or so since I've bought some, but these are pretty cool just to have, like in the frozen in the freezer, basically. For when you want them, maybe on a Saturday or a Sunday or whatever, just some frozen waffles. So that's pretty cool. And they aren't bad. They're pretty decent on calories. Now, honestly, you could technically just make your own waffles, right? You don't necessarily need to buy any. You can just, like I said, it's pretty much the same ingredients for the majority of like pancakes, waffles, like all those type of things. It's pretty much the same main ingredients. So you can just use some oat flour or whatever your preferred flour, and then add in some protein powder, like I said, and then you can make your own waffles and then freeze them yourself, right? So that way you can control the ingredients, and then you can also add more protein to those options, so that you can reach your body goals a little bit quicker versus buying the frozen ones. But it's not necessarily anything wrong with that, right? If you just want to have them, I wouldn't recommend having those like the Eggos and things like that daily. But just to have every once in a while, you can grab those out the freezer. So that's a pretty cool option. So let's go back over here. What else we got? Number 11, Ritz crackers. I've never really been a fan of crackers. That hasn't really been my thing much. But I guess they technically are vegan, right? So you can add your spread, your cheese, and stuff like that, which is pretty cool. Number 12, we have pudding mix. This is actually interesting, right? On its own, Jello pudding mix is vegan friendly. However, you cannot perform a one-to-one swap of non-dairy milks to cow's milk. Interesting, because it will not thicken. I didn't know that. The box recommends 2 cups of milk, but when using plant milk, soy works best. Only add half a cup to a third of a cup, and be sure it's chilled. Interesting. Hershey's syrup at number 13. Now I knew this. I knew Hershey's syrup, and just most chocolate syrups are pretty much vegan, right? Now the cool thing about it, you can also go for other options. They also have like what are some of those other ones? They also have Walden's Farms. They have like a chocolate syrup that's 0 calories. Now, I always say when it comes to things that are 0 calories, they're not necessarily the best tasting, right? Or they're not, I won't say the best taste. They're not as good of tasting as the real thing, right? Like if you get Walden's Farms 0 calorie chocolate syrup, it's not going to be a one-on-one swap for a Hershey's chocolate syrup, because the Hershey's chocolate syrup is going to be way better as far as taste. But you also have the trade-off of calories, right? So I always say when you're using something that's 0 calories, a 0 calorie salad dressing that Walden Farms has, or any of those things, just keep in mind it's going to probably be about 75% of the taste that the real one is, okay? So you're never going to get 100% of the same exact taste as you would using like a chocolate syrup from Hershey's that you would with a 0 calorie chocolate syrup from Walden's Farms. So always keep that in mind. Number 14, sauces. Going vegan doesn't mean you have to make everything from scratch. And that's key. That one statement is key before we continue that. Because I think a lot of people feel like now that they're vegan, they got to make everything. They can't have anything that's already pre-made, right? And one thing that I like to keep in mind, and I like to remind people, is it's all about doing what works for your lifestyle. If you have that type of time where you can make every meal from scratch, or make all your ingredients from scratch, and make your milk from scratch and all this stuff, cool. But I'm not going to be the one to tell you that you need to do all that from scratch, because one, it can be overwhelming, especially if you're trying to transition and you're just trying to make some better changes for your life, right? Two, it could probably also be a little bit more expensive, right? If you're buying all the ingredients and you're playing around with certain things, you don't know exactly how to do it, and you're messing up and you're wasting ingredients. It's just a lot of variables, and most people don't have the type of time to make everything from scratch. So, just want to highlight that and make sure that you understand that you don't have to do everything from scratch. It's not required. All right, do what's sustainable for you. You can still find staple sauces on the supermarket shelves to stick to those 30-minute meals. Okay, so some examples of those. Now, was the sweet and spicy barbecue sauce. Okay, by Auntie's Smoked Maple. Let's see what this is. Um, Auntie's Smoked Maples. Okay, yeah. So here's my recommendation. Don't buy this, all right, for barbecue sauces. If you like barbecue sauces, you like sauces, those type of things, I recommend you specifically start grabbing the G Hughes brand. All right, G Hughes. Matter of fact, let me put it up for y'all. G Hughes is a dope brand when it comes to sauces and things like that. Let me go to it. G Hughes BBQ sauce, specifically because it's so low in calories, but it also tastes amazing. Right? Let me pull up some just so y'all can check it out right fast. G Hughes sauces. Now, keep in mind everything under the G Hughes brand isn't vegan, right? So stuff like this isn't vegan. So stuff that look lighter, right? Just check the back of it because it usually has some animal products, but their barbecue sauces are vegan, and they have some other things as well. I believe they have like ketchup and stuff like that, but it's vegan, but it's also really really low in calories. Like I believe it's like 5 calories a serving, 10 calories a serving, which is ridiculously low compared to those other brands like Masterpiece and all that stuff. Look at that. For 10 calories, and I said this a lot in some other videos, the shopping videos that I do, but you know, some of y'all may not have caught it, but 10 calories, which is 30 grams of barbecue sauce, right? For 30 grams of barbecue sauce, you get 10 calories. Now let me pull up another one, like what is a Masterpiece barbecue sauce. Let's look at the calories on Masterpiece barbecue sauce. Let's see. How many calories are in this one? I know it's at least quadruple the calories that are in G Hughes. And if y'all just start making these little easy switches, you're gonna see how many calories you can save, honestly, which results to more weight loss because you're not consuming as many calories by just small switches. 60 calories. Look at that. Let me look at this. Let me pull this up. This is ridiculous, actually, when you really think about it. So G Hughes, 30 grams gives you 10 calories versus Masterpiece, 36 grams gives you 60 calories. Why wouldn't you make that switch? Right? Why wouldn't that's a simple switch to make. These little things are staple. And trust me, when y'all try G Hughes brand, pick it up. It's at most grocery stores. Just look in the barbecue section, you'll probably find it. Most grocery stores have G Hughes brand. If they don't, you can just order it on Amazon. Order whatever flavors you want. But make this switch. If you don't take nothing away from this live, make this switch. Those small little simple switches that are easy, even if you're not trying to be vegan, you shouldn't be taking in high calorie barbecue sauces or any sauces, not just about barbecue sauces, like the dressings, salad dressings, those things as well. I always look for the lower calorie option, and that's going to help you save a lot of. Because think about it. Let's just say you have 2 servings of this, right? For 60 grams, is you're only going to spend 20 calories versus 2 servings of this, right? That's already 120 calories. So what do you want to take in? 120 or 20, right? So these small little changes can make a huge difference by just making those little adjustments. So I know that veered off a little bit from where we was going, but I really want to make sure that y'all understand those are the things that matter when it comes to like weight loss and long-term weight loss. Making those small switches that won't cause you much of an inconvenience, right? Now, number 15, We got bread and bagels. All right, vegans do not lack the wants for carbs. Okay, let's see what we got. Michelin flour tortillas. This don't brought up a whole nother point right here. So yeah, basically they're saying you can have bagels still, right, and bread. That's a pretty much no brainer. But keep this in mind since they brought up the mission situation. When y'all are buying tortillas, and I don't know why so many people don't pay attention to this because you're just wasting calories on these high calorie tortillas for no reason. All right, so if y'all like flour tortillas, buy this one right here, the carb balance version. Don't buy the regular one, buy the carb balance because it's going to save you so many calories. All right, let me pull this one up. Let me see. I'm going to pull up a couple of them so y'all can compare the calories. And I really need y'all to pay attention to this stuff, all right? Because y'all just mindlessly buying tortillas and all these little things where you can just buy a different version of it under the same brand and save so many calories. This isn't the specific one that I wanted. There's another one. Let me see here. Let me pull this up. Okay, here we go. All right. And then we have that mission. Where we at? Where we at? Alright. Oh, here's one as well. Alright, so check it out. Mission has a lot of different tortillas, alright? So this one right here, this is the bigger one, right? And this is 45 calories for one tortilla, which is great. You want to go for the carb balance flour tortilla if you like flour. They have the corn ones as well, and y'all can get those. Those pretty low in calories by default sometimes. But the carb balance version, all right? And look at the stats. It gives you 45 calories, but it also gives you 4 grams of protein, right? So that's really solid. 4 grams of protein, 45 calories versus the same exact brand, right? This one here, it gives you 100 calories for one tortilla. I'm trying to see, can I zoom in on this? All right, let's see the stats. Okay, there we go. 100 calories for one tortilla and only 3 grams of protein. Now keep in mind, same exact brand. Both of them are by Mission, right? Same exact brand, just making a different choice. And it's only because you probably weren't aware of it, right? Now you're probably wondering, well, like what's the difference as far as, size? So this one is 36 grams as far as the overall size of it. And I believe this one might be like, what, 28? Let's see. 28 grams. So it's about an 8-gram difference as far as the size, which isn't much. So you literally can have two of these smaller ones, right? Two smaller ones as far as literally just like 8 grams difference. Two of these for and still have less calories than you would spend on one of these, right? If you have two of these over here, that's only 90 calories versus this one by itself is 100 calories. So start making these little small changes when you are buying your foods, all right? And it's not just this one. There's a lot of other high calorie ones. There's other brands aside from Mission. Now the other thing is, these came out, I believe, either late last year, or sometime. But these are basically they call it the zero net carbs. These are only 25 calories per serving. Now I'll be honest, these don't taste as good, right? These aren't the best tasting, but when you add everything with the food, when you add the whatever the protein that you're eating, and then whatever you like the toppings to be on your tacos, it's pretty decent. Actually, we just had these last night. To be honest, we had Taco Tuesday, so we just had these last night. So make these little swaps, man. They're gonna make so much of a difference. And this is how you can lose weight without making a huge sacrifice, right? And still eat more. Like you can have 2 tortillas, 2 tacos, basically for the price of one, less than the price of one when it comes to calories, right? So those little swaps are really important. All right. Let's see here. Going on. We only got about 3 more. So number 16 is frozen pie. So that's pretty simple. Just read the back of it. What is it? Sara Lee brand. Just check the back of it, see what it says. But yeah, frozen pie. This is like an apple pie or whatever. Just look at the brand, see what it says. Number 17 is super pretzels, soft pretzels. Interesting. So what are these? These come frozen. We're highly suggesting. Okay. And then the last one, which is this is an ice cream like those sherbet type things. Talentini. I never know how to say that word. Talentini. But yeah, so these are basically like ice cream essentially. I never tried it, but I heard a lot of good things about it as far as the taste. It tastes pretty good. I'll put it up right here to see if they got a picture to show y'all. Right here. These are kind of what they look like as far as the container and such. So that's pretty much it. All right, that's pretty much it for the list of foods that are vegan by accident. And there's a lot more. These are just some. I'm sure they just mentioned a couple of them, but there's a lot more stuff that is vegan inside the grocery store. So hopefully this provides a little bit of insight that you can see that it's not just like a specific section for vegan foods. Like there's a lot of foods that you probably were already eating that you just didn't know were vegan, right? And hopefully that can change your perspective of what vegan means, which is just no animal products. And you can clearly see that there's nothing much different when it comes to eating certain foods that don't have animal products in there. All right. So if that provided some value, hit that like button. Make sure that you hit that subscribe if you're not, if this just popped up on your news feed. Overall goal of this page is just to help you all different ways, educate you about the plant-based diet, help you lose some fat, build some muscle, look good. All right, summer's coming up, so if you all need some coaching, there's a link in the description for you all to schedule a coaching call. We'll get you on a plan, regardless if you're trying to lose 5 pounds, 50, 100 pounds, whatever it may be. We've done it with lots of clients. There's a whole section in the lives where you can see some of the interviews we've done with previous clients and their results. They talk about their experience with the BBP coaching program. Aside from that, you all know we have our supplement company behind me, which is BBP Subs. That's bbpsubs.com or builtbyplantsbrand.com, where you can get access to all of our plant-based nutrition products. All right, we have a lot of dope things coming up as well. All right, we're going to have our vitamin B12 supplement launching probably like the next 10 days or so. We have, and I've been having some of these products, but we're just now, after going through it, checking it, getting it all set up with the labels and things like that, making sure that they look the way that I like. We're going to release them. All right, so those will be slowly releasing over like the next probably 2 weeks. So aside from the vitamin B12, the vanilla ice cream will be back in stock, and it will be with a new recipe for the vanilla ice cream protein powder. All right. What else we got? We got superfood green drink. All right, it's pretty dope. It's called Green Stuff. I'm gonna give y'all a sneak preview. Actually, I'm gonna show y'all a little bit of what that looks like. Can I? Let me see. Let me see if I can pull it up right fast for y'all. Let me see here. Can I get that on the screen? Let me see if it show my phone. Oh, there we go. There we go. That's what it looks like. BBP green stuff. So it's basically lots of fruits, vegetables, right, into a powdered like form, right? And obviously it's going to be a daily drink that you can have, and it's fire. Strawberry watermelon flavor. Here's the vitamin B12, all right? And then we also have, let me see, the Hit Different. This is the pre-workout. This is the new flavor, icy lemonade. So we got those things coming up. Make sure that you all stay in touch, stay in tune. Be checking out for the next live where we may be discussing some other cool things as well. But yeah, I will catch y'all next time. Peace. This episode is sponsored by Built by Plant Supplements, the lead plant-based nutrition supplement company. Provides you with support for all of your goals, whether that's building muscle, losing fats, improving your performance in the gym, and getting some great night rest. All right. So if you're tired of people asking you constantly, where do you get your protein? Tell them bbpsubs.com. Come over and grab you some vegan protein powder, chocolate frosty flavored. 110 calories per serving with 22 grams of protein. And if you don't like chocolate, we got a vanilla ice cream as well. Get your pre-workout powder so you can be a beast in the gym, and the creatine to support that muscle growth, all right? And if you really need some great night rest, go ahead and grab you some nightcaps. Good melatonin, gonna help you be knocked out, not waking up in the middle of the night, none of that bad stuff, all right? So bbpsubs.com, use the checkout code BBP10 and save 10% off your whole order. On top of that, free shipping over any order over $75. bbpsubs.com. Let's get back to the episode.